our Kababayan LA Year-Ender 2012 Entertainment Edition here on Kababayan LA. And when we talk about entertainment, of course, we can't do it without Ted Benito, who produces a lot of events in the Philippine-American community. You produced how many shows at the Ford this year?
It was two.
It was two, but there's one very special event which was produced at the Hollywood Bowl, no less. We're going to be talking about that in just a little while. Congratulations again. Of course, Chris Tronson and Peter Gonzaga always ready to cover the red carpet for us here on the show. Your most memorable coverage for 2012. Let us start with you, Ted.
Well, the Hollywood Bowl was very special for different reasons. One, it was the very first time that Filipinos were featured at the Hollywood Bowl. So, you know, to have the caliber of artists that were both Filipino and Filipino-American, young and old, traditional dance with hip-hop, music, I mean, that was phenomenal. But I think for me, the most important thing about that event was what was actually said by FilAm and Taboo and Apple when they actually kind of outed the fact that the Filipino community was responsible for birthing the Black Eyed Peas.
Yes.
When FilAm said, you know, SIPA, we used to perform small concerts at SIPA, you know, Search to Involve Filipino Americans, that was, to me, a huge thing, to be able to recognize and shine a light on the fact that the Filipinos were able to get the Black Eyed Peas out there. Amazing.
And one of the songs actually that they released was Apple's Bebot, which is so catchy. Even non-Filipinos really liked it, and it's just amazing. I remember I was covering the weigh-in for the Manny Pacquiao-Juan Manuel Marquez fight, and before Manny stepped on stage, they were actually playing Bebot. It's just so catchy. You can't really ignore it, and you just can't help but bounce to the song, right? But Ted said, aside from concerts, aside from events, movies, I guess it was also very memorable for Filipinos.
For Filipinos, the biggest thing is The Road, Yam Laranas, his horror suspense film. When you think about it, it's an all-produced Filipino movie that actually had a slightly wide distribution here in the U.S. and actually had a U.S. premiere. So that was the first time Yam had a film here, and also the actors, that was their first time at a LA movie premiere, and it was exciting historical moment for Filipino cinema in general.
Yes.
To see that happen and to see that Hollywood film company actually backed up The Road.
And there was another film, I think, The Bladed Hand. They visited actually. It's a documentary on Philippine martial arts, no? Which is huge. Right. What about you, Chris? You cover a lot of red carpet events, premieres. You've interviewed a lot of big stars. Even Brad Pitt you've interviewed. Some of my favorites, Angelina Jolie, Marion Cotillard, who's one of my favorites. So who's your favorite interview, or what's your favorite coverage for this year?
I have a tie, and I know that's horrible. You're always supposed to pick one. But I think, you know, when we went to the Hollywood Foreign Press Association and we actually went to the offices, Peter and I got to go and interviewing Darren Criss, because he was actually, you know, the celebrity who was handing over the check, you know, because of the disaster that happened out there in the Philippines. And so, you know, our good friends Janet and Ruben Napoles, you know, invited us over there, and we got to interview him, and it was kind of like an intimate one-on-one. So that was exciting. But I also think, you know, Peter and I were lucky to be able to go backstage and cover American Idol each week. And, you know, one thing that people don't realize is not only was, you know, everybody in America looking at Jessica Sanchez, but everybody in the Philippines was looking how she was doing, and we were sending our coverage out there. And I know it's kind of a personal story, but my mom works in a hospital. There's a lot of, you know, Filipino male nurses and female nurses, and they, you know, one of the male nurses saw my picture and was like, I know him. And my mom's like, how? I watched their coverage of American Idol each week on, you know, on GMA or you know, the networks and stuff. So it was neat to know that there were so many people out in the Philippines watching our coverage here, and being able to kind of see Jessica go from, you know, this little girl to this huge worldwide sensation.
And did you see that too? Like week in, week out, you go there backstage. Did you see how she grew as an artist, as a person, in just a short time? No,
yeah, she did grow. Even the way she's became more eloquent, the way she spoke and the way she presented herself. And whenever Chris would present questions to her, you know,
especially when we'd ask her, like, you know, questions about her Filipino heritage. You know, I think we were the only ones, so she was excited to talk about it. Kind of brought her back to her roots and stuff. So that was a lot of fun. And real quick to mention, you know, we got to also meet the vice president of the Philippines when he came out for a book signing. So there's a lot. It's always amazing to see how many Filipinos in Hollywood just representing and had a successful year.
But going back to Jessica Sanchez, she is one of the big stars to look out for in 2013 because said she has a lot of projects. No?
Oh my gosh, she's going to be on Glee. She has a CD coming out. She just released a duet with Apple. And there's talk of a tour, her first U.S.-based tour. So Jessica's one to watch in 2013.
But she's just one. There are so many others. There's so many events also that we're looking forward to for 2013. We're going to be giving you a rundown and a list when we return on Kababayan LA. Don't go away.